Hey everyone, Sandy Bowie here. Now, how are you today? I hope you're feeling well. But here's the thing, right? Sometimes the vibe that we get into on a daily basis can be more of a low vibe one, more negative emotions that we go through while we're running our business, particularly in the early days, but not just related to that. Even when you're being successful and you're reaching the figures that you only dreamed of, sometimes you can go into a low vibe and you need to be able to get yourself out of that as quick as possible and move back into a higher vibration. So we're talking about emotions like, stress, anxiety, maybe fear, maybe even sadness around how things are going. And there's a lot of talk about being in high vibration in our particular field. Mindset work is the most important thing that you have to do, but a lot of people don't know how to get there. A lot of people get trapped in the negative emotions that they're feeling at the moment. I know I certainly did for a long time, and I know from some other groups that I've been participating in that there's a lot of people out there that are actually stuck in the negative emotion. They're just stuck there and they can't get back out again. So that's what this tapping session is about today. We're going to tap maybe for about 15 minutes or so, which is a good length of time to tap on this. And start to raise our vibration a little bit. Now, if you haven't done tapping before, that is absolutely fine. Just follow along. I'll sort of point out where you're going. That's no problem at all. So just tapping on the karate chop point, which is just at the side of your hand here, and you can do it on either side. Let's just get started. So just tap gently on the side of your hand. You don't have to do it hard, just with a couple of fingers or 3, whatever feels comfortable. Just start tapping on the side of your hand. And I want you just to close your eyes for a moment. I'm going to close my eyes as well, just for a moment. And I want you to get in touch with those low vibe feelings that you've been feeling today. Maybe you haven't. There may be some lurking around that you want to get in touch with, but like I say, this is for the low vibe feelings that you've been feeling. I just actually want you to focus on them for a moment and just name what is that biggest emotion that you're feeling just now? Is it anxiety? Is it stress? Is it fear? Are you feeling, desperation? Is it frustration? What's the biggest one that you've been experiencing today? And I really want you to just focus and feel that just now. I know that might be a strange thing to ask, but one of the things that we do in tapping is we get into those emotions so that we can clear them, because we don't want to have them stuck in our body. That's the thing. So I want you just to get in touch with that emotion and name that biggest one. And then think about, right, well, where is that? Where is that emotion stuck in your body? Where is it at the moment? Can you feel it? You don't try and force it. Can you feel it in your stomach? Can you feel it in your back? Is it in your shoulders? Sometimes we can carry a lot in our shoulders, or a lot of emotion is held in our throat as well. Could be in our head or our knees, anywhere at all. There's no right or wrong answer. It's wherever the energy is for you. I want you just to focus on where that energy is in your body and just really sit with it for now. Just really get into that emotion and think about it. Like, does that emotion have a shape in your body? Is it the shape of a circle, or a triangle, or a rectangle, or is it just an abstract shape, or is it a shape that reminds you of something? Could it look like the shape of an animal or something everyday? I mean, weirdly enough, I've got the shape of some sort of traffic cone kind of looking like a traffic cone, you know, in my stomach right now. So I'll have to investigate what that is. But just focus on what shape is it, and what colour is it as well. You know, so mine's like quite clearly sort of orange with mainly with a little bit of white through it as well. But what colour is it? You know, what sort of energy is it? Is it really dense? Is it thick? Is it solid? Is it more liquid? You know, really get in touch with this, sort of just using a metaphor here for what that energy actually looks like, feels like. What is it in you? What does it feel like in your body? Is it really heavy or? Okay, and just focus in on that for the moment. Right, once you've sort of got in touch with that energy, we're going to move through it quickly, but I just want you to ask yourself, what intensity does that feeling at the moment, whatever that is, what intensity does it have for you? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most intense feeling, just give it a number right now. So I could say that actually that feeling that I've tapped into is about an 8 or so. Whatever it is, and it's some sort of traffic cone that's symbolic for me rather weirdly. I tend to do that actually. I tend to sort of, you know, give the energy some shape or something to it. That's something that I can work with. And once you've got that number, we're just going to start tapping around some points. Okay, so just at the side of the eyebrow, at the top of the eyebrow here. Just really, really concentrating, getting into that emotion and feeling it. You know, all that stress that you've been feeling, all that anxiety. We're going to just acknowledge that feeling for a moment at the side of the eyebrow. You've been pushing, just keep your eyes closed by the way, you've been pushing this feeling down for quite some time. You haven't been acknowledging it. Whatever that feeling is for you, the anxiety, I think mine is a bit more stress related actually. You haven't been acknowledging it under the eye. So we're just going to take a few moments to sit in that feeling at the moment and just acknowledge it. Just say, I'm really acknowledging the way I'm feeling right now. Oh, you can feel it actually starting to dissipate already. And under your nose, you really get into that feeling. And the funny thing is, with tapping, once you start to pay attention to the feeling, you can move through it quite quickly and it can dissipate quite quickly as well. And on your chin. Just keep tapping on that feeling. Focus on that energy. Is it changing shape now? Is it changing colour? Is the density of it? Is it changing density? Is it on the collarbone? Just acknowledging these feelings that we've been feeling. It's okay to feel these feelings. It is better to feel them than push them down and ignore them. You know, a lot of people say, no, get out of these feelings and into your high vibe, but you can do that quite quickly, but it's important to acknowledge them. And under your arm, what's that energy changing into now? Could be a different emotion, because just like, you know, we talk quite often in personal development about the onion, about the different layers, and that's how it is with emotions as well. Once you start tapping on one emotion, you can get rid of that emotion quite quickly and then suddenly find there's another one underneath it. Could be anger, could be sadness. And just tapping on the top of your head. Like running your business wasn't meant to be that hard, was it? It wasn't meant to be this stressful. It wasn't meant to make you feel this scared. Like, really get in touch with that. It was meant to be more fun, wasn't it? Instead of this energy being weighed down by all these things that you have to do on a daily basis. Eyebrow point. It was meant to be more fun. Just keep focusing on that energy as it starts to change. Maybe it's starting to break up, or maybe you just notice it slowly disintegrating or shifting to another part of the body. Like, and don't be worried at all if it causes any sort of, like, you know, effect on any part of your body, because that's just it moving. You know, sometimes you can actually feel energy moving up through your throat. It's just energy moving, it's just shifting. You just sit with it and it will pass. Just know that all you need to do is keep tapping. Just side of the eye now. All you need to do is keep tapping, because that's what the tapping does. It allows you to acknowledge how you're feeling. It allows you to tap into these feelings that you have and then just let them go, so that you don't get stuck in them, so that you don't sit in that energy for too long. Under the eye. Because setting up your business wasn't meant to be like this. You had a vision. You had a mission at one point. You've still got it. It's still there in the background, even although things have become a bit more difficult. And maybe they just get on top of you some days, maybe just like today, and that's why you're in a low vibe mood. You know, all that energy of not knowing what to do and not knowing who to ask and not having any support. Just let all that energy dissipate. Okay, under the nose. And then start to fill your body up with a different kind of energy. I mean, maybe if you sort of had a sort of colour in your body, think of a new healing colour that's associated with a more positive feeling, and allow that to come into your body instead. You know, on the chin, just focus on whatever that healing colour needs to be. I mean, it could be a beautiful purple, or it could be a sort of green, or maybe it's a white energy, or the energy of yellow, or of the sun. Whatever energy is you feel you need to put in your body just now to help you get back in touch with that mission. Just let that sit in your body just now. You know, wherever you want to put it. If it was put it in the place where the other energy was, and just let that other energy completely melt away now on your collarbone. You're so ready to release that old energy now and replace it with something else. And you might even feel that part of your body starting to just relax more. Yeah, maybe if it was in your shoulders, you feel your shoulders relaxing more. Or you just sort of let your stomach out because you've been holding on to that energy so tight. We don't even realise how tightly we've been holding on. We don't know how tightly we've been holding on, because we feel that feeling so often every day of the week as we're growing our business. We haven't even noticed most of the time that it's been there, and it has, and it's been blocking us. But under your arm, it's safe to let that energy go now. It's safe to let that energy go and replace it with something new. The top of the head, and that energy that you filled it with, just what emotion would you give that? Could it be joy? Could it be fun? Could it be excitement? Could it be love? Or maybe even just a glimmer of hope? Maybe even just a glimmer of hope that, you know what? You are going to do this. This mission that you sent out, you knew that you could do it, and you've just let all these negative emotions bog you down, stop you from doing the work that you were meant to do. And the eyebrow, you've let all that emotion get on top of you. So just bask for a moment in this positive emotion, this tiny little glimmer of hope. Just let it build in your body, or these little moments of joy or excitement. Let that energy start to build and flow all the way through your body, all the way down to the tips of your toes, into your fingertips, to the top of your head, at the side of the eye. Just really feel that positive energy. You getting back in touch with your mission. This is what you were meant to do. And let that beautiful energy expand outside your body. Let it expand into the room that you're in. Let it expand upstairs in your house or your apartment, wherever you are, outside your house. Just keep tapping as you visualise that energy. Just expanding further and further. Expand into your town, the city that you live in. Expand right past the country that you live in and all the neighbouring countries until you see that energy literally encompassing the whole world under the eye. Because that's what you're here to do. You're here to impact in your own specific way, in your own personal way. You're here to make positive changes in the world, just like you've just done. That's your mission. That's your mission, not to get bogged down in all the day-to-day stuff, all the tedious stuff that we have to do that puts us in a low vibe in our business. Under the nose. You're here to do much more than that. And it's time to remind yourself of that. It's time to remind yourself that you have a purpose. You really feel that purpose right now as you're tapping through all the points. You're tapping back into what that purpose was for you. On your chin. You wanted to heal the world in some way. You want to help other women. There's so many things you want to do. But you want to be a positive force for good in this world. And to do that, you have to use your positive energy. You have to use it for good. On your collarbone point. And just sit there and bask in that positive energy for a moment. You changing the world. Being a positive force for good. That's what you're here to do. That's what you're here to do. And under the arm. All that old energy should be completely released by now. But if it hasn't, it's safe to let go of any last tiny little bits. Just watch them exploding, wherever they are. Get them outside of your body, just watch them blow up in any way you want. Maybe they can sail off in a hot air balloon, whatever, but they're ready to leave. You don't need them anymore. Because top of the head, you've got your mission. And that's the most important thing. The more you connect to that mission, the more you connect to your message, to the reason why you started this business in the first place. The easier it will be, the more fun it will be. The more love and connection you feel towards that and the people that you want to help. Okay. Just open your eyes now. Take a deep breath or have a stretcher, because we sort of went into a little bit of a trance there. And just check in with yourself. That emotion that you were feeling earlier on a scale of 1 to 10, you know what number you gave it before in terms of intensity. Write down in the box below and tell me what number is it now. Hopefully it's gone down, but if it hasn't, just keep going. There's no length of time in terms of tapping that you need to stick to, if you need another 5 minutes to keep tapping, to just let that feeling go, to just break up that energy that you tapped into, then you take that 5 minutes. It's not a competition when it comes to tapping. It's however long you actually need to take to work through the feelings. You acknowledge them, you work through them, you maybe even learn some things from them, which is not what we were doing today, and then you move on. Because the thing is, the message is, what we need to remind ourselves of every day is, like, I know the technology is tedious, there's so much to learn, and trying to find the support, and especially when you're starting out and you don't know what your message is and you haven't got the money to invest in different things, like, it's really heavy energy, and it can stop you from doing the things that you want to do with your life. It can stop you from getting your message out there. It can stop you from being the person and the leader that you know that you were born to be. So don't stay in that energy. Please don't stay in that energy, especially when we have some really useful tools in the world like tapping. So I have a little secret for you, by the way. I use this sort of tapping every day, where I'm sort of tapping into my emotions, like, what am I feeling right now? Sometimes I might do some deeper work on that, but sometimes what I just did there is enough to just shift it, move it into something else, get me in a place of service where I'm like, okay, I remember what I'm here for, let's move forward. You know, get some perspective on where I am and let's move forward. So I hope you found that really useful. Come back to it anytime you want, again and again and again when you need to. Don't stay in low vibe at any point during the day. You don't need to. Just acknowledge it and move on. Acknowledge it and move on. It's as simple as that. So bye for now. I'll see you next time.